Hey everybody, it's I wasn't expecting to do an update, but it's October 11th. It's the day before the week of week 10, the countdown. I just wanted to give a quick update while it's still fresh, a market update, because yesterday was pretty significant in the stock market. What a sell-off! Ooh, everything is red. Just to do a comparison just to give some comparison to what I lost, at least on paper. The stock market, the NASDAQ went down 3.7%. The S&P 500 went down 3.5%, and my portfolio went down 4.5%. So that shows how much more beta my portfolio is. So I am moderately aggressive. I probably shouldn't be at this point in time in my career and age, especially if I'm going into early retirement. But I think the tariffs are back. The tariff wars between China and the U.S., 100%. It's just not sustainable. Am I worried? No, because it's not sustainable. They can't do what they want to do. Xi and Trump. It's just the battle of the bulge, and it will pass. The most unfortunate thing for me is, before I would have, if I didn't educate myself over the years, I would be worried about it, but I'm not. The only thing I'm not happy about is I don't have a lot of cash to inject I don't have a lot of cash to deploy to buy stocks. If they continue to fall, that's the only sad part for me. I don't have much cash there. I have a little bit, but it's not much that will make a big difference. But at least I might be able to buy a couple more stocks that I've been eyeing up or build out positions that I've been in. But yeah, it's pretty significant yesterday. I don't think it will last. October tends to be the most volatile month of the year. September is the worst month of the year, depending on how you view it. Because it's red, but this year it wasn't like that. We ended up in the green. So October might be the new September. So anyway, I thought that was a very significant enough for me to comment on going into week 10. That was the other thing I wanted to add to the financial update for today. So the stock market drop, that is the equivalent, what I lost in one day, or just in a few hours, is the equivalent of approximately 4 to 5 months of work. So in one day. So that's just, and that's only 4.5% drop. So yeah, I mean, it's all relative compared to what you have in the market, but that's pretty significant. And 4% isn't even what it could possibly go to. It could be another 10%, at least 10%. But if it just keeps dropping, my only regret is I don't have enough cash to really pump in. I don't have all the cash that I would like to have had, but at least I'm invested. I don't expect this to last long, and if it does last several months, then so be it. I don't need the money now, and that's the most important thing. I don't need the money now. I need the money more than a year from now, and that's what I'm looking forward to. October 12th, coming home from church, and they're digging up the road, digging up the sidewalk. The sidewalk is already very difficult for us to walk on, and then they just make it more difficult. You can see this is a sidewalk that with a lot of obstacles and a very busy road right next. Very busy road to walk next to. As you can see, there's not even any room for really one person to walk on the sidewalk. And this is, hundreds of people, probably thousands a day. I'm not even here. Just in the morning. This is what I have to walk on to and from work, or when we go to church. So you can see people just have to move out of the way from each other. It's really, I wish they would, they expanded the road, but they shortened the sidewalk. You can see the difference here compared to the sidewalk there, right at the intersection. Anyway, one more obstacle I won't have to work around. And 81 days counting. 81 days left, and only about 70 days or 65 days of those are in Bangkok. Hey everybody, it's October 16th. It's day 77. 77 days left in the year. 77 days left until retirement, left in the year, and we're at the end of midweek of December, the week 10. Wow, I can't talk today. So I'm just down here. I got my 2-for-1 coffees from Il Cubo. Latte, 70 baht. Two for one coffees. It's probably more coffee than I should be drinking. I already had a cup of coffee today. At work, but I try not to overdo it at work when I know I'm going to come out to get my 2-for-1. So I'm just sitting down here at the local park near the shopping mall, and so I didn't realize we're midway through October, and that means Halloween. And the Thai really love these holidays. Here we have the park that looks like it's set up to have a Halloween party. Here's a stand. Over there at the park, they've got some cardboard things up, haunted house type stuff. It's all haunted stuff. So it looks like they have this set up for like a beer garden. I hear House of Horror, always connected. And over here they've got a stage. Looks like they're gonna have some band or some music at some point, right in front of the shopping mall. It's neat, it's neat that they keep things, this stuff can be put up and not be destroyed, and people respect it, they work around it. But this is going to be a beer garden for Halloween. Yeah, the other thing I'm going to note is, so I'm working on some financial reports. I should be finishing up a final draft of the second last financial report I need to do for the organization ever. There might be some follow-up to it from the donor, but this is one of the more climactic things that I'll be getting done or finishing up, and that I won't need to do again. The only way that I might be doing it again or working on it is if I do decide to help them in the new year if they ask me. I still don't know about that. Right now I'm pretty set that I won't, but time will heal. I'm still a bit jaded with the job and the organization here and the leadership, so I'm not sure where I'll stand. I just want to get through the holidays where I don't have to think about any of it. And but yeah, just when I'm working on this, I realize how much I know doing this job, how much skills I've learned, and then just how much I know about this job, that I just see it's not going to be easy to pick up, even for the guy who's succeeding me. It's just not going to be easy, because I'm doing some very nuanced work that it takes you need to have a very big picture of everything, and he's not had to do it before. He'll have some technical support from Myanmar staff who's pretty smart, pretty clever, but she's not familiar with any of this, and they're going to have deadlines. And that, speaking of, we just had a kickoff meeting for our 2025 audit yesterday with the auditors, and we're looking at deadlines in the first quarter of the year. And I'm like, if that was me, every year I lose sleep in the first quarter. I lose sleep. I almost never even get to enjoy my holidays, my Christmas and New Year's holidays, because I'm dreading quarter one and all the reports coming up. The deadlines are just atrocious. They're very, very difficult, very stressful. And now I'm looking at these deadlines, and now they have me, who won't be there, to do these key reports, to do these key analysis and financial statements. I'm not going to be doing it. At least so far, that's what I'm planning. I'm planning on not doing it. I'm not gonna do it for a little bit of money. If I do it, they're gonna have to pay me well. We'll see if they swallow their pride and ask me to help. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want to do it. And if I do it, it will be limitations. But anyway, it was just enough for me to say, wow, the work that they're going to have in that first quarter when I'm not here anymore, even next month. Next month is my last month, and I just can't. It's just amazing. So the other thing is, I paid for our flowers for the wedding, 35,500 baht. That's about $1,600. The cost the money we're spending on this wedding, I still have to get over it. It's annoying to me that this is bigger and more than I wanted, but I don't know. I just need to get over it. So yeah, I'm doing a little walk here. It is stifling humid and hot today. Stifling. We've been having some big rains, which is nice, but toward the evening. But tomorrow we go get our pictures at the studio for the wedding pictures that we took yesterday, and we'll be selecting what we want to keep and have printed, etc., etc. All right, everybody, take care. God bless. Take slow. I'm home from work, and this is what I see. That's got her friend here, me, our friend, helping with some wedding gifts. Thank you very much. Hey, everybody. It's October 18th, day 75. It's a Saturday here in a nice sunny day here in Bangkok. We are at the end of week 10. End of week 10. 9 more weeks left in the year. Unbelievable. I hope I did my counting right, because I don't mind reducing the days if I'm wrong, but no, I don't want to increase the days. 10 weeks. So basically, if this is your first time here, I am doing a countdown of my weeks since week 30. That was at the end of June, and until the end of the year, when I will be basically going into early retirement. It's partly forced because of budget cuts at our organization, but it was partially voluntary. It was largely voluntary because I wanted to leave. I wanted to stop working, and I wanted to stop working at this particular place. This is the first job I ever had that I'd never want to work again in an office again. I've had some pretty good experiences, and over the years, some okay, some couple bad, but this is the first time I've ever wanted to just not work with people in an office again. It's just the pressure, the conflict, and everything is just, and the differences are just too hard to take anymore. I don't know if it's coming with age. I don't know if it's coming because I have a wife and that I adore and I love to be with more. It's largely partly due, let me make sure my video's on. It's largely partly due to I live in a condo, and my home is in Laos. My dogs are in Laos, my pets are in Laos, her family's in Laos. So we've got this so we're temporarily living in a condo for 8 years now, and only visit our home for holiday. And I want that to be a permanent thing. I'm telling you, I think it makes a big difference. When I was younger, I often thought, I could see, I thought, wow, the guys who came to Africa, who left their families and homes to work and then go back just to visit their families like every year or maybe twice a year. I was like, wow, I think I could do that. Now I'm like, I don't think I could do that. The older that I am now. But maybe it's just my orientation to family and stuff. I love being with my wife, and I want to spend, fortunately she can stay with me here, but still, I want more time with her. I want more time, relaxed time. I want to stop worrying about crap, just stupid dynamics and relationships and the conflicts and the stupid stuff, the difficult people, and the hearing all the toxicity. I can't take it anymore. I really can't. and I'm ready to go. So I'm at the week of, this is the end of week 10. Tomorrow starts week 9. We are going to be in the single digits of weeks left in the year. It's exciting, really excited. So let me give a brief update of this week. So I just finished, during this week I'm still reading Jeremiah, but I just finished reading, what is that? Colossians, and now I started 1 Thessalonians. I really like these chapters. They're shorter, they're smaller, they're more pragmatic, they're more Christian lifestyle and living, and it's a little easier to take when you're reading the prophets and the Old Testament, because the Old Testament is hard to take and to digest and to understand. I do it because it's part of my Bible reading, but it's not my favorite parts. Speaking of books, I finished reading No God But One, Allah or Jesus, by Nabil Qureshi. He's a former Muslim who became Christian, converted to Christianity after years of debate and heartfelt torment. He ended up becoming an apologist. He was an apologist for Islam, and then he converted to Christianity. Really amazing testimony. But this was his second book. It's more around the apologetics of Christianity, and comparing Jesus to Allah and God to Allah. So very interesting if you're really into that, to understand how Muslims think. And I grew up with, well, I didn't grow up, but most of my career was in Islamic countries, and I never had an issue. I even, I don't know. I'm going too deep into that, but I can appreciate where they're coming from, and it's a very strong culture, and but this is a good way to try and understand Islam and Muslims and what their thinking process is and the root of what they believe, and to witness potentially. So speaking of work, we bought I'm trying not to repeat anything that I did earlier, and I did some videos earlier this week. I don't want to repeat, but we finally confirmed my departure date to go back to Laos mid-December. The ticket is done. The ticket is purchased. It is confirmed. And all the dates are set. Moving date, visa date, flying out date. Oh man, all my holidays are confirmed. So I'm basically working one day in December, and half of that will be, a couple hours of that will be going to cancel my visa. And then the rest I will just go back to the office and say goodbye. See ya! Oh, I won't give the specific dates. I'll talk about it in retrospect, but I don't like to give the specific dates out in advance. And then this week and next week is working on donor reports. So these will be my last quarterly donor reports ever. At least I think so. At least while I'm still employed. And the hard part about them is I love doing them. I love doing reports. I know, and because I'm good at it and I understand it, and I can just, it's like a painter. I feel like a painter when I'm doing these reports, the budgets. It's just a natural thing for me to do. I'm really gonna miss it, and but I don't plan to stop learning and keeping my skills up to date, even if I never use them again. I love working Excel. I love creating templates. I'll probably develop the personal templates I've already built for myself to a greater extent. I just love it. I feel like a painter, and really it's a hobby for me. I know it's a strange thing, but to learn Excel but I'm going to miss this, but I'm going to, and the only way I'll be doing them again is if I do decide, if one, the organization asked me, and two, if I agree to help them with the year-end reports. I have a feeling they will, but I don't care if they don't. Right now, my stance is that I won't be helping them. It's done. it's theirs. Then the extra money would be nice, but it wouldn't be game changing. So I need to de-stress. I need to mentally let go. I really feel like this job is killing me. I feel it. I feel it in my body. I feel it in my mind. I don't sleep. I have dread waking up in the morning. I go to bed with the stuff, the dynamics in my head, the mistakes, the potential mistakes I can make. The biggest thing for me is I don't want to leave the organization knowing I made a mistake. I don't think that's the case. I've been very good for the last 8 years, and I really want to leave them off in a good spot. But I could already see it this week. People are blaming the 2 key staff who already just left, not even 2 weeks ago. They're blaming them for things that have fallen through, and I'm like, I actually started to do it, and with a colleague, and I caught myself, and I said, yeah, well, I know that I'm next. I'm going to be thrown under the bus is the day I'm done, the day I'm gone. He was nice, and he said, yeah, I don't, you're very professional, and that was a very nice compliment. I took it in passing. I didn't really respond to it, but it was very kind of him to say that. He didn't have to. But I really am trying to keep everything ready for my successor. He knows everything. I do overkill with information. I work, the way I work is TMI. I give way too much information. But no, I don't think I give too much information. I'm exaggerating. But for this particular case, I am repeating certain things that are critical. I'm taking my own minutes, and then I'm sharing them with him and the 2 directors, and his subordinate, to make sure they cannot come back and say they didn't know. So I'm making everything as clear as possible, and I want to know I did the best I could for him to succeed here for the organization. What they do after January 1st is not going to be my problem. I would like the other hard part about this is, other than the technical side I like, I would like to close the year. I would like to end it. I feel like it's incomplete. My job is not done yet until the financials and those things are not done at the end of the year. So I'm leaving the day of, the month that these things would be concluded, and I have a hard time not finishing something. I talk about quiet quitting, and I talk about quiet quitting. I talk about not going the extra mile, but I do. I'm as much as I like the concept, I do go the extra mile, and I'm still doing it. This week, even, when we saw the gap that was left with the person before us who dropped the ball. She really dropped the ball. She could not keep up. She wasn't qualified, and she couldn't keep up. And now it's just snowballed effect. It was a snowball effect. And I offered my colleague, now this particular aspect of the work is becoming his responsibility. And during our conversation, I said, look, this is, I did my best to try and make these happen, but it wasn't my responsibility to make them happen. And he said, yeah, I understand. And then I volunteered to help with some of the things that were missing before I leave. I don't need the extra work, and I really want to coast, just do the minimum. But here, my instinct was to help. And even someone who has really pissed me off this past 2 years, really, the relationship has become strained, but I still offered to help him. It's my instinct. I see something that needs done, and I want to do it. So I'm not a very good model for the quiet quitting side or the not going the extra mile. I'm not a good model for that, but I do. It's just my nature, and I know even if I do it, it won't matter. That's one of the other hard things I'm seeing now. We're finally getting momentum to finish a huge thing from last year that's been delayed, protracted unnecessarily by people other than me. But I know I'm not going to, and I'm the one who's been trying to keep it moving. I'm the one that's kept it up to date, and I'm not going to get any credit for it at all. and that one's been hard on me this week, the past 2 weeks. I'm not going to get any credit for it, and we should be concluding it this month, but I'm the one who made it really happen and kept it moving and kept it up to date, but I'm not going to get any credit. And in fact, I think I'm going to actually be largely blamed for the delay. And this one's really been hard for me. But I'm going to have to, I pray to God to help me let it go. Regardless of what they do, I work for God, and that's all that matters. He sees everything, and I will be rewarded. I'm not going to become salty about it. So I won't dwell on that too much. So that was work. Just some other quick updates. eBay. I've been eyeing up a pocket knife. I want a really good pocket knife, but I can't get it until I go back to the States. So I'm looking at this Tecto. I put in a bid for this Tecto pocket knife, and it's half the price. It's used, but it's in excellent condition, and it's half the price as it is new. And I'm looking for some of these high-priced items that I want on eBay now to see if I can get them at a very good discounted price. And I'm really glad. I'm really happy I picked this up, but I won't be able to pick it up until I go to the U.S. and I won't be able to get it. It's being mailed to my sibling's house, and I won't get it until I go back to the U.S. to bring it back with me. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting thing. I haven't been on eBay for a while, but I'm looking at a few things now I've been eyeing up on Amazon, because I'd rather get them even at a better price, even if it's used, than to pay full price on Amazon. But I'm waiting till the Black Friday deals on Amazon. And then quickly, so wedding update. I think there's some videos that you'll see earlier in this week. Me and my wife coming back from the studio. I had thought about this yesterday. I woke up thinking, I'm really kind of pissed off about it. The studio, I feel like there's a bit of a scam. So we took all these photos. We went in. There were 300 photos, prints, and we went through, and we only get 15 of them to include in a package or include in an album. So they put it in a hardbound album. We have to pick 15 out of 300, and they know very well it's not possible. Some of the pictures that was easy to say no. My wife and I we had a few disagreements on a few of the photos. The funny thing is, I asked, do you see couples fighting over the photos and things? And she's like, yeah. She says sometimes the girl ends up crying and leaving. They get so upset with each other about what pictures they pick. And it wasn't which pictures we were picking, it was more the money. So here's the scam. Here's where I think is the scam. It costs, you get 15 pictures, and you get those electronic, and they touch them up, they make sure they're nice, and then you get the album, and then you get a large album, you get a large photo to display at the wedding. Any picture that you keep extra is 1,500 baht. That's $40 per picture. That's just the digital. I can't believe it. That's outrageous. So about $40, $50 just to get one of the photos that are already there. It exists. I said, what happens to all these prints and then all the electric files? They delete them. They trash them. I can't believe it. A full day of work. We had 8 people helping us. We did give each one a 500 baht tip, about $15. So that was about almost $90 in tips the day of the studio. But to toss them, and I'm like, I was really getting angry when we were looking through the photos. I was more angry about that because my wife, she wanted to keep like half of them, and I'm like, I had to go to the bathroom. I was getting so angry because she didn't want to delete any of them, and I'm like, delete. Not delete. We put X. They were prints, so she put an X on them with a crayon. The ones we don't want. Some of them were easy, and Dad didn't want to keep. She wanted to keep even duplicates. I said, you pick one unique one of each style. That's it. For me, it would have been easy. 15 done. Boom. I would have crossed them all out. I would have just picked the best of the best. but she couldn't do it. And I was getting upset because she just wouldn't want to reduce more. I went to the bathroom and I prayed. God, give me the grace here, show me what to do with this, because this is going to be outrageous. This is going to cost more than the freaking studio day, the day of the photo shoot. And it did. It did. So in the end, I'm like, I came back, I got peace over it, and we reduced it more, and I just said no duplicates, no similar photos. They have to be very unique from each other. And we ended up picking 58 photos extra. No, sorry, 40 photos extra. The 55 that included the 15 you get. So 40 photos extra cost me 49,000 baht. That's $1,600. $1,600. And then they said 10,000 baht more, and we'll put all of them. I was negotiating with the manager. 10,000 baht more, $300, and we'll put them all in the album. So we'll add like 15 extra pages. So clearly it was a better deal just to get them all printed into the album for 10,000 baht more. If I'm already paying 50,000 baht, I might as well pay 10,000 baht more to also for the digital, 50,000 for the digital, but 10,000 baht more to have them printed, because that's really what the Lao will refer to. It's easier for them to flip through the pages. And I told, so we did it. 60,000 baht, $1,700 for 40 photos. I can't believe it. And then I said, well, since we're at it, so we picked another photo to have enlarged and framed. That's an extra 5,000 baht. So $150 extra for another large photo. And it was one I really liked. And it was more our style of clothing. We weren't dressed in they were our clothing. We weren't dressed in anything special, anything from the studio. So overall, 65,000 baht, so almost $2,000 just for photos. My sister told me that I think the photo then ends up being very expensive. But I felt like, I just woke up and I said, this is a scam. And I was really upset. I'm like, they get you. They get you in the drive-thru. They get you in the drive-thru. I felt like it was one of those, those apartments you buy for once a year, holidays. What is that? Everything's slipping my mind when I go on video. You pay a yearly fee and you rent. You basically fix your holiday for the year, and they sell you on all these condos all around the world. You just pay a little bit extra, but you pay this maintenance fee. My parents bought into that early when we were younger. I don't know how they afforded it. They ended up selling it. Almost everybody ends up with a loss with those stupid things. But they're very enticing. But I felt like it was like this. They get you, they pull you in, they give you a little taste of what you want of the product, and then all the add-ons. 1,500 baht per photo extra. I was pissed. I was really pissed. And then I went, and Da stayed calm. She's very calm with me. She doesn't get upset. She was like, she just said, I'm sorry. I said, no, it's important for you. They were nice photos, I have to say. Very good, nice photos. But I'm like, the whole thing is fake. We're wearing clothes that aren't ours. And except for the one scene. Timeshare. I was thinking of timeshare. Those timeshares are a scam. So back to the photos. So she was like, I'm sorry, and I'm like, no, they're important. It's done. We have a nice thing. You have all the photos, most of the photos that you wanted, probably 95%. I said, we're not going to do more, and that's it. This is a once in a lifetime thing. You have this for the rest of your life. And she was like, and I'm like, we were talking about it being a scam, and I'm like, I don't know how people keep going to that. She says they're popular, and we saw it when we were there. I mean, it was like a revolving door. You know, you have to book because these people are busy. They're not just really sitting around. You need to book to go in to look around. But they have the studio. She said they don't take a day off. The only days off they take are the big holiday, the Songkran, and New Year's. It is 7 days a week. It's like a machine, but it's extremely popular. It's one of the more exquisite places in Bangkok. And then I went online and I looked. They have over 350 5-star reviews. None of them less than 5-star. I don't know if they're all real, but the reviews are very lengthy with photos. So I thought maybe, I asked them what did they do during COVID, and they said basically 2 years, nothing. They just kept cleaning. They did online support, but there wasn't really anything they could do during COVID. It was really locked up. We were really locked up. But I'm wondering, my conspiracy thought is they were probably pumping out these reviews back during COVID. That's what the people did, put in 5-star reviews, different photos of different people, and writing these long reviews to make them look real. That's not actually the case for all the reviews that I skimmed through. I mean, some are a few months old, some are 6 months old, and some of them are, even where people came to rent a dress and took it to another country and then brought the dress back or kept the dress. I'm not sure, but very, very specific recommendations and 5-star. So we saw it. So maybe it isn't a scam, but it seems a little bit to me. Anyway, I went a little longer there. I just needed to share that, get that out of my system. But at least it's done. The photos are done. The photos are ordered. The album's ordered. The only thing remaining to buy yet is the 50% on the food. I increased the catering from 75 people to 100 people. I want to make, because she keeps inviting people. This is the other thing. She keeps inviting these people that she knows from her pedicure and a manicure, and it is a numbers game here. You see that in Laos, and like you'll go to these weddings, and I'm like, how do they afford this? They'll rent out a huge hall, and they'll have hundreds of people there, and it's a status thing for one, and two, it's a numbers game. They're like, people donate. They give you gifts, monetary gifts. So the idea is you give these invitations out, you put them in an envelope, and then people put money in and they drop it in a box when they get it to the church. So it is a bit of a numbers game in some sense, but she does know these people. She's very friendly with people, and much more than me. For me, like, to go get a manicure, I go to the same girl, but I mean, that's just a transaction. For Da, they become friends when she's there. She's friends with the masseuse she goes to. She's friends with the salon. She's friends with the pedicure, the manicure. One interaction with people, and she's a friend with them, and she's kind of endeared to that person, and she's giving out the invitations to them. So anyway, it doesn't really cost that much more anyway. She said the food is just a snack. It's not a long wedding. It's an hour and 1 to 2 hour reception for us to walk around, just for people to have a little something to eat before they go. We got very nice quality, so we did pay for it. I'm paying a little more. I think the total is about 40,000 baht there. That's about $1,500 for the food. So I'm just going to end on this. This is at the end of week 10. I went a lot longer than I expected. My wife is at her Bible study every Saturday. Very cute, very adorable. She's adorable. I adore her. Photos, she loves the photos, so she'll look at them all day. She'll just flip through photos. Anyway, that's the wedding updates. And just a quick one, the engineer that we discussed some house renovations with back in July, he still hasn't responded to us. So for the first month I waited, and he didn't respond. He was going to send us a quotation and a building plan, a renovation plan. He didn't. And then I contacted him again. He said sorry. And so that's 3 months ago. So for the past 2 months, I've been sending him a message every week, every other week. are you going to send us? He keeps saying, I'm sorry, and then he doesn't do it. He says, I'll send it to you at the end of the week. So yesterday was the end of 3 months. 3 months trying to get this from him. And I'm like, either he doesn't care, or he doesn't need the job, or and this is one of my struggles with the Lao in general. They're just not reliable in that sense. In many cases, there's no follow through with business. There's no business orientation or ethic to go and get it. Maybe that's part of the culture. You got to beg people to come and work for you, even if they do need the work. So and this is a professional though. He's one of the most, the better known in the country. But I can't believe it. It's 3 months trying to get this from him. Every week he says, I'm sorry, and then he promises to send it. The quote, I just want to at least know what it's going to cost. But anyway, that's nothing from him. And then, so financials this week. So this week is basically flat. It went up, the Trump tariffs last week, the battle between Xi and Trump and tariffs, and the market crashed on Friday, and then it jumped again everything was regained on Monday, and this week it was just a back and forth. So basically flat. And I think it's going to be like that because we're in earnings season again this year. We're in the earnings season for the third quarter of the year. So that's what's going to move markets, individual stocks. And but the great melt up is starting. The government is printing money. They're printing money. Every organization, every president did this, not just Trump. Every president's doing it. The budget's going to be outrageous. The budget, I think the government is still shut down. It doesn't really affect my work, but and it doesn't affect the stock market. But they're going to keep printing money, and this is going to cause inflation next year. I think inflation is really going to skyrocket, and the dollar is going to devalue. People are going to lose trust in the dollar. And I'm kind of grateful my last paychecks are going to be in Thai baht. I'm going to keep them in Thai baht. I'm not going to convert them. I'll have much more buying power here. Even though the economy in Thailand is not doing very well, tourism is down and other issues. But I'm going to keep my final pay in baht, except for maybe a little bit I have to convert to cover some costs back in the U.S. because I don't want to take any money out of the market. But gold and silver are hitting all-time highs, and this is because people are losing trust in the dollar. The dollar is devaluing, so invest your money. Don't stick it under a mattress, and be ready for inflation next year. So, the melt up is starting, and I follow this guy. I follow this YouTuber called Clear Value Tax Added. He gives summaries of what's going on with government and laws every couple days, and I believe it. I'm seeing it firsthand. My job is managing currencies for the organization, the budget, and foreign exchange rates. I have to follow, and I see it happening. I see that all these currencies and their movements, the movements they're making, and people are losing trust in the U.S. dollar. So anyway, I'm going to end it there. This is week 10. Tomorrow's week 9. Tomorrow starts week 9, and it's day 75. 75 days left in the year. This is Choice of Winding Down Chronicles of an Expat going in early retirement. I'm not retired yet, but I'm getting there. God bless. Take it slow.